Hey y'all, it's Kize. On this channel, I try to learn a new skill as quickly as possible, and for this month, I am doing the saxophone. Once again, this is another instrument where I have no starting experience, and the goal is to play a cover of a song by day 30. I'm a little bit worried for this one just because I have never tried a woodwind. It's a woodwind. Is it a woodwind instrument? Ugh. Woodwind instrument before, but let's see how much I can improve within 30 days. Let go. Look at this beauty. Kind of intimidating, but I don't know, it just looks really cool.
Before you start playing the saxophone, you have to put it together. It was a little bit confusing in the beginning.
Here we go.
I literally could not get a clear note on the saxophone. It was all just air or screeching noises.
1 hour later.
Messing around with it, it wasn't pretty, but I was at least getting some sort of noises. It all became screeches though. Day 1 was just me playing around on the saxophone kind of freely, seeing how the saxophone worked, and in general just getting a feel for the instrument.
So there's a little bit of a problem today. I'm noticing that whenever I try to play a note that is one of these lower notes, I'm not getting any noise. It's literally just air. I'm gonna have to go take it in and see if it needs a repair.
Not ideal because I don't have that much time, but I decided to take it to the saxophone doctor.
3 days later.
3 days and a sad bank account later.
Doesn't feel any different, but let's see. Okay, yeah, that's so much better.
Now that the saxophone is all fixed, I went ahead and worked on the musical notes. Obviously, you can't play anything unless you know the notes first. Each note has a specific fingering on the saxophone, and I practiced this for the next few days.
So the actual fingerings on the saxophone isn't that hard to remember, but getting the right sound and the right tone out is kind of impossible. So I guess I'll just keep practicing it.
After those few days of practice, I had the notes of the saxophone down, and now I could look on the sheet music and practice the song. By the first week, I at least had the finger motions of the song down, but the notes weren't clean at all, so I sent over a clip of me playing to Jay from Better Sax for some feedback.
Hey, Kize, I got your video. Sound is really, where you'd want it to be after that shorter period of time. Keep your left hand closer to the key pearls. Don't let them come off so far.
It's interesting to get advice from someone who's an actual expert at the saxophone.
Okay, so work on those things. Let me know if you have any questions, and I look forward to hearing the improvement.
I'm gonna now work on some exercises that I saw online that help with the embouchure, so the shape of the mouth. There were 2 exercises that I saw come up over and over again, so I'm gonna go ahead and practice those exercises. The first is the long tones exercise. Try to keep a note as straight as possible for as long as you can hold it. The next exercise was the ha 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 and the ha ta ta exercise. This is literally a full body workout. It's harder than my tennis challenge.
I also did breathing exercises. Those are really important for the saxophone as well. You can probably tell by now, but I had written specific points that I wanted to hit and work on for the saxophone for this month. These were compiled from initial research I had done on the saxophone and my general knowledge of music, and details what I wanted to work through. At first, the plan was to go through every single one of these points, one by one, for the entire song for each point. And once I got one point down, I would go on to the next one. But I decided to change up my strategy.
So my original plan was to go through all of these factors one by one for the entire song. But I got a good tip saying that I should try to just work on one line of the song at one time and go through all of these factors for it and try to get that down, because I would essentially be wasting time if I went through the entire song and did it one by one, because then I would just be practicing every other factor wrong for that section. So I'm gonna split up the song line by line and try to hit as many points as I can for each line before the 30 days.
It's okay to pivot during the challenge, and with this new game plan in set, I kept practicing.
My lips hurt and I don't want to practice. I'm still having trouble with my embouchure for the saxophone, which is very frustrating. The saxophone is 10 times harder than the drums were for me. For the drums, honestly, things came to me pretty naturally, whereas the saxophone, it's like when I try to fix something, it just doesn't get fixed. Probably the hardest challenge I've done so far on this channel, but hopefully we'll see some improvement and I'll be okay by day 30. Until then, RIP lips.
On day 18, I could kind of guess why the saxophone might be harder than other scales.
With the saxophone, one little millimeter difference in where your lip is placed will make the sound totally different. And there's no one hack fits all for any of the notes. It's really note dependent. I think with the saxophone, you just have to keep doing it until the embouchure placement for every note becomes ingrained slowly into muscle memory. But the thing I don't have on my side is time. I do think I've improved a lot since day one, so hopefully by the end, this little guy will pull through.
During the last third of the challenge, I tried to add in another important aspect of musical playing: dynamics.
So the dynamics is what makes a normal song, just notes, sound very musical and emotional.
This part was interesting. The saxophone is such a beautiful sounding instrument anyways, and me coming from a bit of a musical background, I knew what I wanted to do with dynamics, but I was having trouble with actually making that happen on the saxophone itself.
For some reason, me swaying back and forth while I do this is helping me with dynamics. It might not be the best technique, but we're gonna rely on the swaying a little bit.
On day 21, I recorded what I had done so far, and I sent another video over to Jay.
Just watching your latest video, what a huge improvement. Wow, you got really good fast. Compared to last time, you got your eyes closed, you're just feeling the music, feel like you're enjoying yourself. The delivery of the music is great. Let's talk about a few details. You asked me about that one note that was out of tune. That's your D. D is sharp. Now that is typical on a lot of saxophones. That note is going to come out a little bit sharp. Some notes are going to be more sharp or more out of tune than others on a saxophone. That's just kind of part of the design of the instrument. So what you can do is relax and kind of open up your throat a little bit to get that D pitch to come down. First thing you could do to get more dynamics is to start playing louder. Then you get used to putting a lot of air through the saxophone, and you can take that big sound and bring it down for the dynamics. This is great. I'm very impressed. I can tell you approach things very methodically, and that works for music. That's the way we want to do it. You're also approaching it musically, which is great. So congratulations on work you've done so far. I'm really looking forward to hearing and seeing the finished video.
Last few days were the final sprint. I incorporated the final notes Jay had told me, I cleaned up my notes and added in more dynamics, and overall just got ready for the final performance.
That concludes this month's challenge. I hope y'all enjoyed, and it was definitely one of the more tougher challenges I've done, but I think it ended up pulling through. In general, the saxophone is such an amazing instrument to listen to.
Once again, thank you to Jay for all the advice this month, and
if you enjoyed that video, make sure you leave a like. So let's bring out Mr. Clipboard. If you want to see any of my other skill learning videos, then go check out this video here. If you want to see all of them, check out this playlist here. And if you want to stay up to date to whatever I'm learning next, then go ahead and subscribe below. Thanks for watching. Bye. The saxophone, a woodwind instrument. It is a woodwind instrument. Okay, we're chill, we're good. We're not gonna get slammed in the comments for that. All right, I'll finish the intro.